Or my,
keep in mind, I already, when I started my company, I already had about 12 years of, or 11 years of job experience. I started out doing a job in 1992, so I had a fair amount of job experience. The reason I would have gone to some other company instead of my own company, would have folded my company, was only because I would have said, well, nothing ever works and it's too tough, and that's why I want to leave. But it was not that I did not have enough job experience. I did. In fact, just to share a private nightmare with you is for me to think that I'd have to work in one of those companies and not do what I'm doing now, because this is much more fun.
Sir, I want, why I'm here is because I want to be someday an entrepreneur like you, or even better than you. But I want to know the way, how can I be like that? And even all of us over here want this space.
I don't know, should I quote from Shakespeare about born great and achieve greatness and greatness thrust upon them or something? So in many ways, entrepreneurship in my case was thrust upon me, but there really is no right or wrong way to be an entrepreneur. You have an idea, you really feel passionate about it, just give it a try. Make sure you leave enough of some exit for yourself, or even if you don't, that's also probably fine. You're a young man, so you'll still make it. But ultimately, entrepreneurship is a contact sport. It's not like you theorize about it, you just dream about it, or you just plan about it. If you want to do it, one day you just have to say, roll up your sleeves, put up your elbow grease into what you're doing, and you do it. So that's really what it is.
My name is Jad. I'm a managing a renewable energies project. Zafar, you mentioned quite a bit about the past of Sofizar, the whole work through from finding out bugs in Google's analytics, doing the ad routine, and then moving on to SEO. I wanted to ask you, what's next for Sofizar? Where do you, as CEO, and as you mentioned, remaining unsatisfied with your company, how do you see it going further? What next?
That's a great question. One thing that we completely skipped over was that in 2010, there was another gentleman called Carlos Cashman. He had a very nice $100 million plus exit, and what we did was we formed a new company called Constellation, where it does the same thing. Sofizar and Constellation share the same team, but Constellation is a play on whatever we do it with partner properties, and that venture actually has turned out extremely well. We more or less run Excite.com, which used to be a search engine. It gets run out of Pakistan, you should be proud to know. So we run that. We also run the digital media assets of McGraw-Hill. We are also looking at a few other opportunities in terms of partnership with large media companies. We have a few other ventures that under the Constellation umbrella that we're working on, and in fact we see very large opportunities ahead of us in the Constellation space. Again, I want to stress, Sofizarians and Constellation people are exactly the same people. Just some back-end accounting is different, but inshallah we hope to grow to perhaps treble our team size to maybe 250 or 60 people within the next 15 months because of Constellation.
My question is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, as you said that you had a peer pressure of going for outsourcing, right? So you had a pretty much job experience and contacts in US and maybe some balance left. But if a new graduate wants to go for an internship, would you recommend him to go for some job experience first, or go with outsourcing as well as his own idea?
Um,
Because it's not possible to just a single person or two persons to go for an idea, actually to speak.
I certainly do not want to say that it's not possible. Anything is possible. There is no right answer. I wish I could say, well, do this and you'll be successful, or if you do that, you will for sure be unsuccessful. There is no such things. Every person has their own strategic strengths, their own ideas, their own level of risk tolerance, their own level of perseverance, and frankly, their own level of luck in doing different things. So it really does. It does really vary from person to person. There are Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerbergs who just make multi-billion-dollar companies without a college education, and there are PhDs or people with 25 years job experience who in the entrepreneurial setting don't get very far. So there are both extremes, and it really depends on, if you want to do it, get down to it and do it and try it out. See how you think about it. Whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur or whatever you want to be, make sure you give your family enough time, yourself enough time, and enjoy yourself, enjoy the ride. And actually, when you're enjoying it, when you're even in your dreams, you're thinking about your business is for sure growing because you're really enjoying it, and that is a very key factor to success. Any other questions? Okay, thanks.
First of all, I just wanted to mention that this event was webcast live on the Geo YouTube channel. So some of you who the camera captured probably had your one moment of fame today. I would also like to thank Mr. Zafar Khan and the entire Sofizar team for sharing their journey with us. I'm sure everyone in the audience really appreciated your story and found it an incredibly enlightening experience. I would like to now call upon Dr. Umar Saif, Chairman of the Punjab Information Technology Board, to say a few words and present Mr. Zafar Khan with a token of our appreciation.
Assalamu alaikum ji, welcome. Sorry, I'm under the weather today. I'm glad you guys could make it. We got quite a crowd, and Zafar did one hell of a presentation. That was fantastic. I'm very impressed. He certainly put in a lot of time. He and Oksana planning all of this, and this is great stuff. So this is a great beginning to our CEO series talk, which is something that Zainab and Saima and others at PITB had planned and executed well, as far as I can tell. And we hope to have many good speakers coming through. Monas Rahman is the next one up, and then we're getting who's the next one? Nasir is the next guy in, and so on, and that's before the summers, and then during the summers we'll get more people coming in. We're doing several things at PITB, so I wanted to sort of just take this opportunity and make a shameless plug about PITB. That's what we do around here in government. We've set up this fantastic facility now, which is now up and running, as you can see, and we have actually rented out about 80% of the space in this technology park, which is amazing. When I came in and heard about the rent, I come from a private sector myself, and actually I'm a very poor college professor. That's my real life. So when I came in and heard about the rent, I was amazed and fought as much as I could with the government, convincing them that we won't be able to rent a single inch of this building at the rent that they had mandated. But boy, I was wrong. Sort of in about 2 months, we'll be able to rent out about 80% of this building now. And I think in about a month's time, we'll probably run out of space in this building. We have lots of small IT companies coming in, lots of large IT companies coming in. We've set up a data center here. There are many contenders now for taking space in the data center. And this hopefully will be one of the, sort of a few successful business ventures of the Punjab government, where the investment that we've made in setting this up hopefully will now translate into real revenues coming in for PITB. So having done this, we really want to encourage now the IT industry to contribute and be involved in the activities at the IT board. which and it is our responsibility to sort of reach out to college students, to folks in the IT industry, to sort of involve them in some of the activities that we do. This CEO IT PITB talks is one such initiative. We hope to have several. Next time you come here, hopefully on the 28th, for the next talk, which is by Monas, and I'll ask him to now do it as well as Zafar has done, which is quite a high bar. I'm telling you, sort of, you set a really high bar here. So we'll have to really ask Monas to put in the effort to for his talk as well. We are also on the same day now going to do an open house at PITB the same day. To basically showcase all the activities that the IT board is involved in. We have lots and lots of e-government projects. We're doing several new things, and I want both people in the industry, college students, IT entrepreneurs to know what we do at the IT board, and also for the government to know what is it that we do for them. I think there's very little awareness about that. One of the most exciting things that we're going to do that some of you might appreciate, which is a good segue from Zafar's talk, is this IT incubator that we're going to set up at the technology park. So we are going to pick up the tab for an entire floor. The PITB actually pays rent for the floor that we are at, which is the 11th floor, and I think it's the 9th floor now. What's the incubator concept?
9th floor.
9th floor. So we are paying the rent for the 9th floor now, which will say therefore it will be made of zero cost, free of rent for small IT companies to come and get office space there. So we'll help them incubate, help them grow. So we sort of take some of that risk off the table for you. So you could just walk in, a group of 2 or 3, and we'll help you start a company. But I didn't want to stop there. I've done this privately before, but there's several things I couldn't do, which I'm trying to do right now. So one is sort of giving you free office space. So that's one aspect of this. The other thing we're trying to do is also give you a centralized accounting support, a centralized branding support, marketing support, and also training on how to scale your company and access larger markets, for instance, in US. We are partnering with a US-based incubator, which actually is a real hassle operating from the government's, and how do you contract someone internationally? But I think we've made quite a bit of progress. Fussy is actually the guy who's executing that project. But we're partnering with a large US-based incubator where teams will spend about 6 months here in our incubator free of cost, and then about 3 months in US so that they have access to the US market and can scale their companies. And we hopefully will also hope and try and make a reality show out of it, because I really want this awareness about entrepreneurship to sink into people. Entrepreneurship is very close to my heart, very close to Zafar's heart. I've known him for a long time. I was actually signed his mentor from the MIT Business Acceleration Plan and remember going to his basement in his small house, and over time I've had the pleasure of looking at his financial statements every so often because of a small business relationship that we have, and they're very, very impressive. So he's really come out of absolutely nothing to sort of build this large empire. It's a real story to follow. But the take-home message for everyone is this one-liner that Zafar said, which is that entrepreneurship is a contact sport. You can't really just theorize about it. It's you really have to take the plunge and do it. There is no alternative, and you will most likely fail the first few times. If anyone told you anything else, he was lying. Okay? So the only way to do it is to just roll up your sleeves and take the plunge, and you will most likely fail the first few times. But most likely you will also succeed if you keep at it for long enough. And that's just the way this game works. Okay, so I think there's no point vacillating on whether to do a job or to do entrepreneurship or to go study abroad or do a master's or an MBA. None of that matters. One day you'll have to just decide to take a plunge, whether you get a PhD or you drop out of high school or whatever. One day you need to decide to take a plunge, and so just treat it as a contact sport and be prepared to have those 5 things go wrong every day, and still come out of it as a winner. It's for people who are in this game, in this context sport. It's a very gratifying experience. It's a very enriching experience, and I hope some of you would take inspiration from speakers like Zafar and would follow his course. I thank you for being here. I thank Zafar, Oksana, Zafar's dad, and all these fantastic stars from his company who've taken the time to give a talk here, and for all of you who have come through maybe from long distances to attend this talk. Thank you so much.